Let's go to Andrew Clennell now. He's our political editor with some more reaction on these tariffs that will be imposed, according to Donald Trump, a little later in the week, and will be effective immediately, according to Donald Trump, who made the announcement about an announcement to come on Air Force One on the way to the Super Bowl. We are now well and truly in the trade war. We've seen this movie before. It happened in 2018. We were given an exemption. How worried is this Labor government now?
Well, I think you'd have to be worried, wouldn't you? But I have had a text message from the Trade Minister that he's given me permission to read out, Don Farrell, Laura. And he says, my mum used to say every problem has a solution, you just have to find it. So Don Farrell, he's soon to jet off to Washington, D.C. To see his counterpart once his counterpart's confirmed. And no doubt he'll be working 24/7 on what his mum says you should do in relation to this. I note that it's worth about $600 million every year. Remember the Chinese trade ban? That's the whole steel industry, you know, and it's not suggesting it'll completely come to a halt even if these tariffs were in place. But the coalition will note other governments managed to get that exemption. Remember the Chinese trade ban was valued at over $2 billion, and our iron ore exports, in fact, our exports generally a lot, you know, tens of billions of dollars. So you can see there that, you know, it's not great, but it won't destroy the economy. Now, I have some other economic news I want to bring to you, and that is ahead of the Reserve Bank meeting next week. Westpac has delivered some inflation, what they call inflation insights, and they're saying inflation's deeper, there it is, than anticipated, and they are forecasting it to go well within the band, under the band, and trim mean well within the band. And they say here, and government sources have provided me with this, it says the step down in the pace of inflation in the second half of 2024 was not just about the government's cost of living measures. Cost of living measures may have shaved 0.7% off the CPI in 2024, but we estimate they had no meaningful impact on the trim mean. We found the step down in core inflation was due to a moderation in housing costs as well as disinflation in clothing, footwear and deflation in durable goods. So yet another pointer towards a rate cut next week for the government. Some bad news on the tariff front. They'll have to address that, the government, but some good news in terms of forecasting on that interest rate front, Laura. Yeah,
look, we're about to see how this affects local companies as well. Rio, BlueScope Steel being two of those, and we'll get an idea from Ed Boyd about what the share price has, what the tariff announcement has done to the share price there. There's also that, you know, a collateral effect of what it does if there's a broader tariff on all aluminium and steel on the United States, whether that floods the Australian market with cheaper steel. Now, I don't know whether that is a real concern, but the coalition will certainly be reminding this Labor government that they were able to get this exemption on this mirror image tariff back in 2018. So whether that solution that Farrell is talking about when it comes to his mum's advice, whether that is a Kevin Rudd's-shaped solution or not, we will see. Let's talk about, well, Michaelia Cash gave us one of the all-time great lines yesterday and really, I think, exposed what the coalition is hoping people will do. You may not like Peter Dutton, but vote for him anyway.
Kudos for honesty, I guess. You don't always see it in our jobs, do you, Laura? I was sitting there interviewing Michaelia Cash thinking, wow, you just said it. And I think, you know, the focus here is particularly on women when she's saying this. Let's play the grab. That's the best way to address this.
Peter Dutton, more and more every day. You may not like him, but the decision at the next election is not about liking a particular person. The decision you need to make at the next election is, do I want a strong leader who backs me? Well, that's Peter Dutton.
Just caught me there when you said people may not like your leader. Why wouldn't they like him? Why do you think some people don't like him?
I mean, I walk into functions with him and people who've never met him before come out saying, wow, what a lovely, decent person he is. He has a sense of humour. He's self-deprecating. But more than that, this is a man who is principled, who knows what he believes in, who has a proven record in tough portfolios of making decisions that are in the best interests of Australians.
So there you have it. Don't have to like him, but respect his strength. That looks like the strategy, especially when they see the mother of all scare campaigns coming from Labor on Peter Dutton and his past in the job, which brings me, Laura, to the Werribee by-election result. Very interesting result. Goes along the lines of what we've been saying on Politics Now, or I've certainly been saying about Victoria's in real trouble federally for the Labor Party. Having said that, very interesting to see some of the swing go to the Independent as opposed to the Liberals. That's a little tiny silver lining in a very bad story for the Labor Party. Labor figures last week saying they need to differentiate from the Allen government or they're in big trouble. And I would also note that one of the reasons Kevin Rudd got rolled in 2010 is because of a state by-election result. The Penrith by-election won by the Liberals. At that point, that state seat had never been held by the Liberal Party. Record swing put Stuart Ayres into office. He later became a minister. The federal Labor panicked and some of the power brokers ended up going to roll Kevin Rudd. But of course, they won that election, albeit minority. And I'm pretty confident with Kevin Rudd that would have been a similar result. So what I guess I'm saying in relation to this is you can't read into this, as I saw in one newspaper column today, oh, suddenly Labor's losing 11 seats. There's no consequence from voting in a by-election. The Liberal vote didn't improve either. But there's enough there to say that, in my view, they'll be losing at least 3 seats in Victoria, the Labor Party. I've been told Aston's very, very hard to hang on to. And, of course, with that, you automatically see a majority go. Here was Micaiah Cash on the result yesterday.
Good on Brad Batten. And good on the Liberal Party in Victoria. It was a resounding result for them. And as Brad Batten said last night, you know, the feedback that they have had whenever they've been out on the ground is that Victorians, and in particular in the West, have been let down by state Labor. The reality also is for Victorians, and we know this, is they are being let down under the weight of both a state Labor government and a federal Labor government.